Okay, we will continue with the silhouette only. All right, so we're kind of still being a little non-committal to drawing in any final parts here, well, other than what we've kind of laid out with this silhouette. But in terms of the exoskeleton, I think slow and steady wins this race. So if we can work on a layer above what we had before and just kind of get an idea for what a good silhouette would look like with his gear on or his exoskeleton, I think that's a smarter move than just brazenly going in and kind of committing to a lot of detailed polygon shapes. So I'm just drawing in those kind of whatever they were before. I don't want to say wings, but they do kind of give the impression that at any moment he could transform into something that can fly around. And so I think all we're really looking for is things like this, okay? Just some little piece jutting out where you go, you know what? I like that, and I can see how if I fully realized it, it could look good. And a nice thing we can do right now is just take some of these same shapes and just mirror them over here. For symmetry's sake, but also just, I mean, it'll be nice later on because we can probably get away with not having to draw so many of the same shape. And I do like this kind of sleek body pose. I was imagining something a little bit bulkier in the beginning, but I'm not 100% committed to that. So we could kind of leave in the sense that he's this like kind of toned, muscled, or well, just toned robot, I should say. And I'm gonna go ahead and kind of draw on this chest plate here, and oh, you know what I'll do? I'll just kind of connect it up with this other stuff. So I'm just bending it down a little bit like that. So it almost looks like he's wearing like a. Remember Bill and Ted one of those two would wear the, or maybe both would wear the kind of cut off T-shirts, and the belly button was revealed. We've sort of got something happening here with this guy. And you know, before I drop that into the up there and connect it with that shape, I might as well go ahead and copy it and make use of it over here on the mirrored side. Let's try that one more time. So again, this is kind of the detail that's I don't know what purpose it's serving, but it looks cool to have these kind of sharp it almost looks like sharp blades coming off of him. And maybe that is what it could be. It could be some sort of defensive gear right here. If you get a little too close to the all-important central zone, you get sliced up a little bit. All right, let's continue with the plates over here. I like these little connections, and I'd like to be able to see them. I don't know if I will be able to, though. And this obviously gives you the impression that it's just kind of that standard, like, sort of plate armor. What is that right there? Oh, I guess that was a piece that I left in when I was kind of sketching things out. For those of you following along, doing things identical to me, you might have been like, hey, what was that? All right, now for the all-important glove. Forearm armor. I'll just go ahead and copy this over here to the other side. These arms are definitely similar enough where I think I can get away with that a bit. Maybe make a few changes. And of course nothing here is set in stone either. This is a timely tutorial for me as I'm going to go see Pacific Rim tonight. But I know from the poster, one guy has a big sharp thing jutting out like that, so what the heck, maybe we can leave it in for right now. And for the time being, I'll just kind of have these go into a little fist right here. If we want to add a little extra flair, we could kind of mock up something like this. It's a piece jutting off like that. And maybe this arm's tilted where you don't actually see that. Or maybe this thing is actually that thing. Somehow it flips around or something like that. I don't know. And as you're going through here, if you want to just give yourself a little extra weird detail, you could always try subtracting parts of it. I think actually a big theme later on in this tutorial, once we start realizing these parts and filling them in, is avoiding perfect square, any sort of perfect cube. Kind of doing whatever we can to make it that look like we didn't just slap a cube on there. Alright, so obviously I'm kind of doing the hip region here. Make this one go up just a little bit. And we'll continue sort of drawing in the somewhat connecting plates. Little bends like that. Oops. Oh, I forgot to do anything up on the head here. Let's see. That might actually be one of the few things that makes somewhat circular. Circle, make it like a half circle up on the top. I'm always partial to Magneto's mask, so we might do something a little similar to that. Okay, now for the boot. These we can obviously make more elaborate when we get to them. But just something like that. And I think if you were to see this boot in profile, probably I would do something like that. Right, so it's kind of got 1, 2, 3, 4 planes to it, like facing out, and then it could kind of curve back like that. I don't think it needs a high heel. No, definitely not. So let's see, did I 1, 2, I don't know. Guess I can figure it out later. Something like that. And all right. I don't know, it looks like there's kind of a spike coming out the back of that, so maybe I'll mirror it over there too. Something like that. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe this should just be a little bit simpler. Okay, let's kind of take a step back here and look at what is potentially layer 1 of our exoskeleton. Fill that in a bit more. Another thing you could do is I sort of meant to do this on the first video in this session, was just throw in some more sort of random pipes or things like this jutting out, and there's no reason we can't go back in and do it now. I'll just make this into a symbol. And of course this falls under the category of just odd little bits of detail, but could look very good in the end. I'm not exactly varying the size here, am I? Okay. Let's do a few more up here. And heck, those could be some sort of like antenna almost. There we go. I think that's about right. Okay, I think we're ready for the next stage of this.